What's up, guys? Master Styles here. Welcome you back to Inside Gaming. And today we're going to be covering the Joker. I have him here at 5 stars, so all of his skills are on lock. Get to see what he can actually do. If you can bring him to higher levels, go for it. If you have my one copy and you're thinking about going for a second copy, this is the video you want to see. So today we're going to do a rundown on his skills. Of course, we got to go over his skills to see what he brings to the table. We'll talk about some strengths and weaknesses, and then I'll give you my personal opinion after using him, and I'll show you my team that I've been running him on. Obviously, there's other teams you can run him with, but I want to show you what works for me. We'll go over the use cases, and of course, we'll close out and go over the things you need to do for the next video. But let's start with his Joker Venom quick overview. So, of course, for his ultimate skill is Joker Venom. It does 150% attack as spiritual damage to one target, 50% chance to apply 10 stacks of Venom, which is the key for his damage, prioritizing enemies with the most Venom in auto. So if you have him on auto, it's going to go with the target that has the most Venom, spreads Venom and debuffs at 50 stacks. So once you get up to 50 stacks, it's going to spread to other enemies, which is great. And even if that enemy dies, those buffs also spread to other enemies. And for each stack of Venom, it does 6% of attack per second. That's huge. So once someone hits 50 stacks, the poison goes to other enemy units. Next up, we have What a Gas. It's an AoE bomb, 100% attack damage, 50% chance to inflict 2 stacks of Venom. It's an early setup tool for stacking Venom on the group, which is great there. We also have Big Laugh, so 10% spiritual damage buff, which is awesome, right? Each of his attack has a 50% base chance to inflict 1 stack of Joker Venom on the target for 20 seconds. That's a long time. That is a long time. Can be triggered once every second. At the start of battle, Joker gains 1 stack of attack up of 5% for each Arkham's most wanted ally present. So again, having Arkham villains is best to couple him with. But the team that I have, you'll see. You're gonna have to stick around to see all of that. And of course, we gain some additional stats for having him. Even if he's on the bench, he's gonna give you some additional stats. This is a new feature that they actually added to the game. So increase all champs attack by 1% and intimidator champs attack by 1% applies globally, of course. So this is something new that they added to the game. So those are his skills there, what he brings to the table. Again, even that one copy, he still can get it done, right? So again, you want to get a copy of this guy, and let's just go check out his banner real quick and see how much time we have remaining on his banner. So we have 14 days as of recording. If you're watching this in the future, chances are he will not be available, but for right now, we're just gonna see what he does, and we'll go over some fights, and of course check out his strengths and weaknesses, right? One of his strengths is high dot damage from Joker Venom. That's the big thing there. And let's go over to see what they have going on here. All right, so you'll get to kind of see the team, what works, right? So here, this is the team that I'm using. So the win condition here is deal as much damage as possible. So again, this is Joker's realm. He loves this, right? Long fight, beautiful. This is gonna work perfectly for him. Thing is, they only have one enemy, right? If you can do that with multiple enemies, he's gonna be great. So one of his other strengths is that constant Venom application via passive, right? And of course the additional global stats that he gives. So let's just break down the team a little bit here. So I'm running Batman for tanking damage. He also dish out some great damage too, with Dr. Fate for his shields. That's why I love him here. And of course Ivy for protecting the team, healing. Aquaman is more for grouping. But this one, I don't necessarily need Aquaman, because again, he's not really needed to group together. So I might I'll put Holly in there. So again, we'll make Joker do more damage right? That's my thought process there. And we're in for the long fight because again, the protection from Dr. Faith and of course Harley's constant healing, we should be good. Let's just see how we do here. So again, the stacks, you can see them going. They already start doing damage, and of course he's gonna be the main damage dealer. This fight is primarily for him. Of course, there's gonna be added units, which is fine. They're gonna end up getting wiped out very fast because when they die, they actually put more stacks on the boss, which is great. So we're gonna in turn do more damage. Look at that, 8,000. 8,000 dropping 9, and it's going up. It just keeps going up and up. And that 12,000, right? So again, because the boss himself isn't gonna die, so we're gonna end up doing more damage, right? But actually Aquaman might have not been that bad, but the ads are not really that you know gonna do much. So again, and the other thing about having Poison Ivy is that she actually do her spawns, which in turn actually distract the boss, right? So just look at how much damage the poison is doing, right? Oh yeah, I completely forgot about this thing where it actually holds on to one of your characters, which this is bad because they're actually targeting Poison Ivy. So this fight is actually annoying to deal with, this boss here, because he actually targets one of your heroes and then he lock him in and he goes for Ivy. So Ivy's down, which hey, we made it to the end of the fight, but just look at the damage that he's putting out per second. That is per second. He's gonna end up dying here. Don't die. Yeah, he ended up dying, but he stood right back up like the G he is. Right, we want to see his damage here and see. Look at his damage. So at one copy, he could potentially do this though, right? And obviously, it's gonna be more because he's at 5 stars. But I think at one copy, I want to say he would be able to do a good amount of damage because in that situation, it was more about the dots, and the dots come from his ultimate, right? The additional moves give you more ways to stack Venom. So again, this guy, I'm telling you, if you don't have him, definitely want to at least get a copy, right? But in that situation, that's a boss fight there. It's longer. You get to stack up those dots, but we're gonna go over to his weaknesses, right? Some of his weaknesses is the slow ramp ups. He need time to be effective, right? So again, like let's go in here. We'll do a PvP fight, and I'll show you this. Where is it? Is this the guy? Because I fought a couple of these guys before. No, I'm trying to find. Let me try to find a team that has the Joker with one copy, and we'll kind of see. Okay, so here it is. Granted, right? He does have a lower level Joker, right? So again, kind of, well, not really a mirror, but he does have 1-2 Harley Quinn plus Red Hood. They're both Arkham villains. So let's just see how we do here. Again, this is 1-star Joker versus 5-star Joker. Very interested to see how it goes. The first one to actually group people together probably will win this fight. Yeah, we probably lost that one. Actually, no, we got lucky because if Aquaman groups us together and then Batman would have popped off there, we probably would have lost. But again, in that situation, you know, the competition was a little less stronger than us, right? But let's see what happens when we face someone that has a higher combat power, better heroes in a sense, right? Let's just see if we can win this one for the sake of the video, right? Let's just take on a tougher team, right? So, wow, I didn't even know Superman gives protection to his allies. Dr. Fate's gonna end up dying here. And he has Aquaman, but Aquaman groups them together. We lost our Dr. Fate, which is understandable. It always happens. We just need a few more seconds here, and the stacks are gonna go. We lost Batman, and chances are we'll end up losing this fight, right? Unless Joker can clutch up. I just don't see it. We need Aquaman, and he died. But again, it is a longer fight, but it's tougher to take them out. Sometimes you win some, you lose some, right? Just wanted to see if it would help out in that situation, but the problem was the people up front couldn't take on all the damage that was coming. So that had nothing to do with him. If they could have tanked the damage up there, we probably would have did much better. One of the other downside to all of this is that the ultimate is single target, right? But once the enemy dies, we can beat them, right? But this here, we'll just run through this one too because we got to do it anyways and see how we do, right? But again, the Joker, he can ramp up the damage. Like, he's the main damage dealer on the team, especially if it's a longer fight. So you see how Aquaman groups them together. Batman gets to pop his ult. Lots going on, and I think Dr. Fate is going to die. That's one person I want to work on, is getting him to be better because he's up front. I know placement, because every time I put him on one side, they always target him. If I put him on the right, they target him. If I put him on the left, they target him. So I'm like, where can I put you, my guy? Protection, right? But so one of the other weaknesses is less effective without synergy or long fights, right? In the quicker fights, you see it doesn't do as much as he would in a longer form fight. So PvP, he can do the damage, but again, it would have to be a longer fight. Some of these PvP fights are very quick. Let's take a look at the team. For me, why I built this team the way that I did. Batman, he's there. He's a damage dealer while also being a person that can soak up damage, right? Dr. Faith, I need to get him to at least 5 stars. Again, he's a little squishy for me. I need him to be a lot more tanky so he can get enough time to put those shields up. Those shields work perfectly because, again, as we take damage, he puts the shields up. Ivy's healing in the background, which is great, right? We also have Aquaman. Aquaman is for grouping, but we'll just see it here. Of course, Venom. Saying Venom. Joker's there for the Venom stacks and doing the dots over time. This one should be fairly easy. Once Aquaman pops his ultimate, it's pretty much over, right? That's the end of it. They're gonna group together and everything comes together like a symphony, right? Perfect, and it should be done. That's how it should work. But again, when you're facing higher level teams where they can take out the front line, then we're pretty much in trouble. But again, Aquaman does have the ability to push them back. So in this situation, this is perfect because I was just going to talk about that. What happens when they can jump into the back line? What's his name? Batman's son. If he survives, he ends up dying anyways, right? But he has the ability to come into the back line here. But in this situation, we're way stronger than them. And let's just take a look at that. Joker's the one that does primarily most of your damage, right? Even for me, at 1 copy, he's good, right? At 2 copies, he's going to be even better. But again, the shortcomings are still going to be there. Going to higher star levels doesn't really solve the issues that are there. The underlying issue is the fact that he needs time to ramp up, right? So long fights, he's going to be great. He's great against bosses, PvP depending on the length, right? So those things there. But again, just for the fact that even if he doesn't have that much time, he still can get it done, right? He's still going to be the main damage dealer on your team unless you have higher levels, you're, deeper into the game. But for a newer player, you getting a copy of him, he's going to do it because the dots are going to be there. It doesn't matter where his star level is, the dots are there, right? And you've seen in the video there where we're fighting the boss and we had time to ramp up, we could get some big damage going. So from what we've seen, we know that he shines in boss fights, right? Long form PvP battles, not really much of those. He's a heavy debuffer and synergy with Arkham teams. We know that. I know you're probably wondering, what other teams could I potentially run him on if I don't have the heroes that you just showed me in your team? So let's actually go over here and see what we can do, right? With the Joker, right? From what you could potentially get, from what I could recollect, right? So say you pull Joker, you have him at 1 copy. You do get the option to pick Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy does correlate with him, and it also is the Arkham villain, right? You also get Harley Quinn from the 7-day login, if my memory serves me correctly, right? So now we're already at 3. You could go potentially here, right? Let's see, where is she? Avenues are Wonder Woman and Green Arrow. Like, this is a simple team here. This is one option because you'll have that. Obviously, you can switch out this for Black Adam, which is very obvious there. And if you don't have Ivy yet, you can go here, right? But you'll lose out on that. Let's actually go back to Green Arrow. Yeah, we'll get back that bonus. But this kind of team you could potentially run, and if you were lucky enough, or you were able, you can put Superman in there, and of course, you can go with Batman. Batman would be the primary way to go. You get that additional 10% increase to your attack. We also need some HP. That's also something. But if you were to switch her out and put an Ivy, what happens? Nothing. It's pretty much the same. Nothing really changed there. So that's what 5-star Joker can do, right? I went over it very fast, but at the same time, what do you think? Is he in your lineup? Are you building it towards pulling for him, or you don't have him? If you don't, I suggest you pick him up because he's just that good, right? And he's gonna end up being the main damage dealer for your team. As long as you can keep him up and protect him there, you can definitely gain some value from him. If you made it this far in the video, the word of the day is Joker, right? Hey, he looks pretty good. Very interested to see who the next hero is going to be. If they were showing Hawk Girl, could be that, or Scarecrow. But if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. For those that are rocking with me, let me know down in the comments how you feel about 5-star Joker or the video in general. Without further ado, I want to thank you for watching. Till the next video, peace.